Hey everybody, welcome back. Sometimes when you do these videos and you think about what, the times that you pause in that moment when you're just concentrating on what Jesus is speaking. And, I've spoke this a lot on the videos. You got to be willing to stop for a moment and hear it. So many people come against stuff in the world. They may be going through difficult times. They may be going through troubles. They may be falling from God's grace. See, God doesn't leave us. We leave God. We leave Jesus in that spot. We may travel a long time without it. But the greatness of it is the forgiveness that He gives, the repentance. That when we come and repent, we're forgiven. But isn't it amazing how much people hold grudges? There's that scripture that I like to bring into this a lot. The guy that ends up in court and he owed a lot of money. Let's just say for this example, $10,000. And he proved his case. He was relieved of that debt. And he leaves the courtroom, goes out, and then there's a servant that owed him $1,000. Well, he goes after him to get his $1,000, presses him and puts him in jail. The judge and then found out what he has done and then found him guilty and held him accountable for the $10,000. So it's like, be careful what you're doing. Because when you come against someone, falsely accusing people, or you're putting blame on someone that they have no idea without asking, we are to be good. We are to be the light and let the light shine through us. We are to go into the places where Jesus calls us to do. Remember, Jesus ain't going to put you in nowhere that you're not capable of doing, overcoming it. It shows your growth. It shows how far you have traveled, and it shows where you are with Jesus. If you never got a report card in school and you waited till 12th grade and then they walk up to you and say, hey, well, sorry, you're not graduating because you should have picked up a little bit here in 8th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and you sure didn't do enough in 12th grade. Now you would say, well, how fair is that? Well, how fair is it that you don't find out where you are in your walk? Because a lot of Christians go into that category, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. Well, you're not good. None of us is good. Because if we were good, then we'd be more like Jesus. We would be walking that straight and narrow pathway. We would love God, Jesus, above all things on this earth. Now, I know some of you might say, well, I love my spouse. Okay. Well, there's no wrong in that. But if you love your spouse, God, Jesus, you love your spouse, your children, your friends, your family, you love God under that, or how about this one? Your spouse, your children, your family, your friends, and then God, and then Jesus. Well, you got it upside down. That's where the devil's already waiting up there, waiting on you. You got to understand something. The devil hates God. Hates Him. Do you realize every time that the devil goes in front of God to bring something into your life, God's either going to accept it or He's not. Look at the things that's going on in this earth. God hasn't made this mistake. We have. We made this mistake. We made this Sodom and Gomorrah. We allowed this transgender. We have allowed this confusion to go on. We have allowed the government to do what they're doing. We have allowed all of this identifying. We have allowed all of these things, these pronouns and this crazy stuff. I want to identify with my pronouns. Well, go. Tell me how good that's going to do when you're standing in the final hour, because let me tell you something, people. You're not going, once Jesus has come and judgment is done, you're going to remain here. Because remember that Bible verse I gave you in that last video, be gone from me, I do not know you, because your good works and all the things you're doing, if it's not out of love and it's not out of obedience and under God's authority, you have done nothing but glorify yourself. If you stand there for man's praise, then I tell you what, you have received your reward. bravo. I'm gonna give all those people right now that going after to do stuff to get approval from man, bravo. There you go. Well done. You just lost your reward in heaven. If you're even going to make it to heaven. Because most likely, if you're on that pathway, you're on the devil's path. And I know some people are going to find this really hard to deal with, but I tell you, it's a time to wake up, people. It's time for somebody to come up to your cage and shake it. You know, right now, I'm standing up on this roller coaster and we're climbing up this hill, and if I don't go back and sit down very soon, I'm going to fly off this thing. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll take the risk of flying off right now. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to hook a strap and I'm going to go down each cart to make sure everybody's awake. Because I care about you. I don't want you left here. I don't want you to have to go through the very things that I have seen all my life. The devil will stand there when you fall into your temptations, when you fall into that trap. Lucifer, and maybe this will help some of you people. I was just talking to somebody today about this various thing. Maybe this will help you. The next time before you make a judgment call, gossip, maybe you think harshly about somebody or have a harsh reaction towards somebody, because Jesus doesn't do it to us, we can't do it to nobody else. He said, turn the other cheek and continue to walk forward. Because you understand, when you fall and you do something, Lucifer's standing there pointing at you, laughing at you. Well, I don't know about anybody else, but I can't stand the man. I've had my share of him. And yes, he has stood there in my face and laughed at me, and his exact words were, too easy. I know you. Yes, you do. I made a mistake. I'm human. But I can tell you one thing, Lucifer. I am stronger today than I was yesterday. I'm not that scared little boy anymore. I fought, and I'll continue to fight. If I'm left here, then I know he will give me the strength and the courage. Whatever you have done is nothing compared to what he had to go through to go to that cross. It would be an honor to be put on that cross, because my Savior went to the cross. I don't deserve heaven, but out of the grace of God and the love that he has and the obedience and Jesus surrendering himself upon that cross, I have an opportunity to go. Notice I said an opportunity. Because I tell you right now, people, I have never said I am good. I have never said I am great. I will not settle for good. I want greatness in heaven. Well, Nelson, that's a little selfish. You're dang right. You're darn right, because I tell you right now, I seen my room in heaven. I seen the shelves of things that I have thrown away. I have an inheritance. You have an inheritance. It's called Jesus Christ. God has given all things that he has into Jesus' hand. Jesus says, what is mine is yours. You will not want. I will feed you. I will clothe you. I will provide for you. But you just got to stop and think for a moment. You have to go back into the place where you was. Stop doubting. We already had Doubting Thomas. We don't need another doubter. You got to walk in faith. You got to walk in trust. Faith is hard. I'll tell you what. That is so hard sometimes. It's one of those things where you go, I don't know. Well, don't you know? If I was to tell you right now somebody's going to walk into your building and pull a gun, you might want to start leaving now. You might look at me and go, I got a 50-50 chance he's right or wrong. So you continue to work, carrying on with your coworkers, and all of a sudden you hear pop, 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 pop. And you look out the window, and I'm standing there shaking my head like, I tried to tell you to come on. It's like running back into a burning building. Do you do it? I'd do it if Jesus told me, because I know he would protect me. I ran into a burning building. I remember a time at the nursing home, one of the residents came down and started a fire in the basement where the supplies and stuff is. He was down there smoking, and it caught it on fire. I took in so much smoke, people. It's crazy. But I didn't think about myself. I thought about them people. Life is either in the devil's hands or Jesus' hand. There's nothing in between. Nothing. When you look at this world, don't blame God. Don't point up at God and say, God, why are you allowing this? No. God didn't do it. Lucifer presented the ideas and we ran with it. We ran with it. We allowed God to be removed, and look at your children today in these schools. Look at what these children are doing. I'm telling you right now, I was just at a Walmart. Walked inside, and I heard this girl, and her mom's like, no, come on. And she just kept talking. Mom, I want this. No. We're getting this kind. It's cheaper. Mom. So the girl stopped talking. The mom put it back. Continued to get the brand and what she was getting. And again, the mother obviously knows her finances. Knows what's going on. She's running a household. Now, I know some of you might say, I'm going to get back there, so just hold on. Relax with me here a little bit. I know some of you might say, well, the Bible says the men should do the finances. Right? Well, I tell you what, I can do finances. I know how to register stuff in checkbooks. I know how to pay bills. I know how to do all that. Darlene does it, and I'm fine with that. I don't care how much money's in the bank. I couldn't even tell you right now, honestly, and I would win this. If somebody walked up and says, I'm going to put you on a lie detector test, and if you win, I'll give you $1 million. I'm going to ask you 2 questions. Okay, hook me up. How much is in your savings account? No clue. How much is in your checking account? No clue. None. I have no clue. Well, we're going to ask you a 3rd question. Why don't you look into this? Because it doesn't matter to me. What else you got? You want to know the reason why it doesn't matter? I'll tell you the reason why it doesn't matter. And I'm still going to be right. So hand me the $1 million so I can go give that to be put into the savings account. I don't care because it's possessions. I don't care because I don't deserve it. It's not mine. If tomorrow don't come for me, it doesn't matter. But it matters that I do the right things and make sure that someone's taken care of. That's someone that relied on me to do the right things. Sometimes that drive of knowing that there's someone there that keeps me moving. I always wondered if she wasn't there and left because of all this nonsense that went on, what would I have done today? Well, it came to my conclusion that a while back, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at. I'd probably be somewhere to where I could constantly stay in the truck. Where I'm at now, you can't do that. They may let me under the circumstances. I don't know. But I wasn't there at the time. But I'd probably just go back to a company that I could just drive over the road and just end up wherever I end up. But I still wouldn't change anything. And I know some people might go, yeah, I don't know about that. If I'm out there earning money and I'm not with this person, I'm changing my bank account. It's not me. I stand by my word, and I told her, as long, if any, and I'm not saying we're breaking up. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just using this for an example. What wrong did she do? Did I do wrong? Did she do wrong? I don't know. Even if we reversed the roles, and she walked up to me and said, I cheated on you. Okay. And I know some of you might go, oh no, hell, no, I'm leaving, blah, blah, blah. Who am I to judge what she has done? There was a while back she called me up crying over something and telling me something that she did a long time ago. It bothered her that long that she finally had to, confess it. And it was nothing really that bad. And I'm like, and I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay. I think I proved over the years to her that my word, I stand on it, is what I'm trying to say. My word, I don't break. It's the only thing I got. The only thing I got to give God is who I am. I'm rough, I'm raw, and I'm to the point. Doesn't mean I'm better than anybody else. Doesn't mean I'm better than anybody else because I've been knocked out plenty of times. What does that have to do with anything, Nelson? Well, I'm going to tell you. Hold on. And then I'm getting back to that girl. No matter what or who or anything that you think you are, there is something out there that is going to prove you wrong. Because that's what Lucifer does. He waits for those moments that you let your guard down. It's that watcher, people. It's that thing that hovers in that corner that puts the fear in there. And the more fear you get, the more it starts to grow. You may say, Nelson, it doesn't happen because we're Christians. You are wrong. 100% wrong. You can't get possessed if you have the Spirit of God and the Spirit of Jesus in you. You can get oppressed. That's a whole different category there. See, you got to understand, Lucifer wants your soul. Once he gets your soul, he captures your spirit. Once he's got that, most likely, you may not ever come back from that journey. And I know a few things about that. That's why I'm telling you. You may say, Nelson, you're wrong. The spirit and the soul is the same thing. No, you need to look it up then. It's not. So many people tell me I'm wrong. Okay, that's your opinion. Which one does the devil have of yours? For you to sit here and debate that. Why are you so frightened about what I'm speaking? Why is Christians so afraid to hear about hell? I don't understand it. I really don't. Because if you're that terrified, then maybe you should know what's going on in hell, what it's like, so you can warn others about it. You can't warn somebody if you never knew that fire would burn you. Hell wasn't created for the people of the earth. Hell was created for Lucifer and the fallen angels. You place yourself in hell. Your final judgment, when God is lowering down the new kingdom, and all this is turning to dust, signs, bridges, trees, roads, every house, every building, everything will go flat. When it's gone, there is no God. Hear me out for a second. I repent. No, the demons will be released and they will drag you straight into hell. And that's where your fun starts. That's where you're going to be punished over and over and over. You're going to see everything the same as you see on here on earth. You know why? Because that's your punishment. You're going to try to escape, but good luck, because you're not going to make it through miles and miles and miles of a ring of fire. Because you're going to feel every bit of it. Some of you might say, well, I'll make it through. No, you won't. No, you won't. It's put there for a purpose. To keep things in hell. Think about that. It's put there for a purpose to keep things in hell. It's like the Johnny Cash song. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, down, down. The flames got higher. See, he knew what it was because Johnny Cash was wrapped up into a dark realm. I know that dark realm he speaks of. Because the further down you go, the hotter it gets. And the further you go into it, the deeper it gets. The further in you go, the more chaos and pain you receive. If I was to take you into a room right now, walk up to you, and smack you as hard as I can, over and over and over, push you down, dig claws into you, rip your flesh, cut your tongue open, rip your ears off, break your fingers, break your knees, strip your clothes off you and just beat the living tar out of you and drag you over glass, over nails, over whatever you can imagine. Pick you up, throw you back to the beginning where we started, and do it again because you're restored. But the pain is so unbearable in you. And I'm going to do it all again. And I'm going to pick you back up and throw you back. Now that's just your first sin. Say you're a liar. I've seen people, the demons reach right up them, upwards, out their mouth, grab their tongue, and rip it down and pull it back out the other side. Good luck. That can't feel good. I can't imagine. Never had that happen, but I can't imagine that would feel very good. People, I've seen things in hell. I've been trying to get this to revisit back into hell, but it every time I start to do it, something else seems to happen. Because I believe the devil's trying to stop it. I truly do. I truly believe he sends people that is a shock to me, some of the stuff that they say. And it's like a left hook when you was expecting the right. Because I've never expected certain people to come and do what they do. But then again, they're human. I forgive everybody. I forgive the stuff that my son did. I don't know. My son's wife. What the heck would that be? Daughter-in-law? Darlene's youngest daughter. I don't care. It's their opinions. It's their ways. Whatever. Anybody that has done wrong. And trust me, a couple of people at work. All over. I don't care. You know why? Because it doesn't do nothing but rot your soul to think and hold that stuff. The devil can use it once you hold it. But once you lay it at Jesus' feet, watch out, because now you put Jesus in control of it. Watch out now because you put God's judgment over what someone has done. I don't want them to perish. I don't want them to go to hell. Even as rotten as stuff that they have done, I do not want them in hell. The devil does. It's an investment. It's all you are to him. I invested in you. I'm not giving you up. Well, I hate to tell you, you didn't expect Jesus to come. In them hours when you're crying out, Jesus hears you. Now, as I'm making my way down this cart, whichever cart you're sitting in, I know I'm sitting in that front. You know why I'm sitting in the front? So I can watch everything. I can stand up and look behind me. I can stand up and look on the sides. I can see something happening. I can start praying. The power of prayer. You realize when people come against you, if you start praying right there, you will feel the peace come upon you. It will just come upon you and it will relax you. Try it the next time somebody comes against you. Or the next time somebody says something harsh about you. My lip hurts pretty bad, but anyways. So let's just say I'm on the cart right behind where I'm sitting, which would be the second cart. So you can place yourself anywhere on this cart, on this roller coaster. See, I don't give up very easy. And I think that's why God has used me. And I know sometimes it may feel like I'm getting frustrated or I'm allowing the devil to win. I'm not. It's like even right now, I feel like the devil's trying to stop me because there's a piece of skin on my lip. I got this knot on my lip, and it's throbbing so bad, but there's a piece of skin, and it keeps snagging, and every time I hit it, it hurts even worse because it pulls that knot. But anyways, a piece of information you probably didn't need to know. But anyways, think about this. As things start to take place, you can stop it by praying. I can stop picking at this thing and it might be a lot better too. God calls us all to do something. You may not know because you don't ask. Some days I feel helpless. I'm like, I'm in a truck. What do you want me to do? I try to talk to people, as many people as I can, and sometimes Jesus just tells me to be nice. Sometimes he just tells you, just smile. Like today, it's going to drive me crazy until I pull that freaking piece of skin off my lip. I'm coming back. I hauled my second load, and it was about almost a 3-hour drive on the way coming back to the DC. And I'm thinking, I'm going to get to go home early. And all of a sudden I hear the ding, and I was like, oh no. And I got a little frustrated. In the last couple of days, I've been trying to not get frustrated with things. I've been trying to be in Thanksgiving. So I went straight to prayer and asked the Lord to forgive me. Give me the strength to get through it. It was, I think, 37 or 47 miles one way and right back. So I'm thinking, okay, 2 hours. Almost an hour there. It's the time I drop that trailer, do the inspection, figure out which empty trailer is there, and grab a hold of it and start heading back. About 2.5 hours total. That's counting the time left that I got out of that and the half hour that I got moving everything around and inspecting stuff. So I got about 50 minutes wrapped up in inspection and pre-trip in one trailer, post-trip in one trailer, and pre-trip in the other trailer. So I went into Thanksgiving because when I got back up there, I seen people waiting for loads. And a lot of guys complain about the loads. Oh, it's not enough miles, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Even if it was 35 miles back and that's all they're paying, that's 70 miles I didn't have. That's 70 miles that adds to the miles that I ran all day. Yes, it gets tiring. When you deal with weather, you deal with construction, you deal with traffic, you deal with people that are just, they own the world. That's what you deal with all day long. But truck driver, and all we do is hold a steering wheel. All I do is pick up a trailer and take it to A to B. I got my own lane. I kick back, I throw my TV on, watch a movie, and just hold the steering wheel. I never have to change lane because every exit I get off, I got my own lane. I have somebody that when I pull up, they just unhook the trailer for me, do all that, and I just sit there, and then I back over to the other trailer, back under, they hook it all up, and I go back, and I get back in my new lanes. I'm being a little sarcastic. Why? Because I want you to see how we stereotype something. Like in some of these videos. I do it to make a point. Sometimes it does frustrate me. Some of the stuff I speak about, but I also tell you a way how to look at your life. Do not be like that. It's easy to look at somebody else and go, yeah, Nelson, this is the way to do it. And I'm going to flip it back on you. If you can tell me, see, here's the teaching here. You can tell me how to react. You can do it yourself. Because you can't tell somebody something if you don't know the right and wrong. That's where the key comes in. Because when you go in judgment, good luck trying to get out of something when you already know because you told somebody else how to do it. Oh, wait a minute here. Well, the plot just thicky. You see why you're judged the way you're judged? Because you know right and wrong. Does it make you feel better when you tell somebody off? Does it make you feel better when you put somebody down, rip somebody to shreds, or disbelieve somebody? I don't disbelieve. I know how my spirit feels. And the great thing is about when you watch someone's body language. You'd be surprised how much I learned in fighting just watching body language. I don't call people liars until I know for sure. How do I know for sure? Because 10 seconds later when I'm talking to them and I'm asking them a question because of what they just said, they don't even recall it. Some people may say, well, Nelson, that's a habitual liar. No, it's not. That's just a plain liar. That is just somebody that forgot already what they said. Because the truth, you don't forget. The things that haunt you, you don't forget. Now let's go back to that girl in the store. So, they're going down the aisle, and I'm going down the aisle, looking, listening. Some may say eavesdropping. You call it what you want. Call it what you want. I want to see the outcome of this. The mom's still talking, and the mom's still talking. The daughter's not paying attention. She's looking at her phone, and she looks up and she goes, "Mom, shut up." Whoa, hold on a second. Put the brakes on the roller coaster for a slight second here for a moment. I remember the day when my son brought his girlfriend at the time, the family, his mom, and all them over to my house. Which, first of all, I was already pissed because all these people came to my house. And I knew what they were all going to try to do. And as I'm sitting there and I walk back down the hall, went down the hallway to use the bathroom. I came back out. And then all of a sudden, here comes the show. My son jumps up, balls up his fist, and looks me in the eye, and I'm looking at him, and I'm thinking, don't you do it. And I believe I even said, you take a step over here, and you're going to regret it. Because now at that point, I didn't see my son. I see somebody attacking. Shortly before this, he jumped up on me and tried to put me on the ground, and I had to grab a hold of him and place him on the ground. That's the stuff that haunts me. I don't even know if they even think about this stuff. I do. And I had to give it to Jesus. You know how long it took Jesus to let him remove the stuff my own father has done to me. And I can tell you the day that it happened. The day I walked back in there and asked for him to forgive me for what I said to him that day in that bed. And I seen the tears flowing down his cheek. I told him I loved him. He squeezed my hand, which my father had another stroke, so he wasn't able to move his hands or anything. Grabbed a hold of my hand and squeezed it. Looked at me, couldn't say nothing, but I knew what he was thinking. I just gave him a hug and gave him a kiss. I said, I'll see you in the morning. Then I came back and checked on him. I said, Dad, I'll come check on you before I leave. Well, a bunch of stuff happened. Got late. Then my sister called me. Said my mom wasn't doing so well. And I'm like, good grief. And, you know, it's like, all I can think about is I'm glad God gave me the opportunity, because I listened and I felt it in my heart to go in there and to ask him for forgiveness. Because no matter what he has done, I had no rights to do what I did. None. You know, just like my youngest daughter came just, and I did, and I really don't even feel bad. All anything I really said was, "You're a liar," and she truly is. She doesn't recall anything that she tells me. That's a liar, people. I'm not being mean to my daughter. I love my daughter. I just can't be in the same room with her because she pushes buttons that I don't need to be pushed. And I'm okay with what God separates from my life. One by one by one by one. What she do, she gives my phone number to her mom. Her mom sends me this long book. I didn't even read all of it, but I just give up on dealing with the devil. Well, one of the things that she mentioned in there, it was very interesting to me. She said, the first one, I've cheated on her 3 times, which I never did. And again, put me on a lie detector test. God, stop my tongue. Take my tongue from me. Never let me speak another word. If it's not the truth, glorifies you and your son, and if it's going to deceive anybody or take anybody down a wrong pathway, please stop my voice. That being said, I worked at a dealership. Now, her sister's boyfriend worked at the dealership. He used to work in the wash bay, then he went over into car check-in, basically. You put the floor mats in, you go over, do the inspections of the cars, blah, 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 blah. Well, I got a job there working in the wash bay. Then I got a job. I got moved out of there, and I got a job under, just passing out the work orders. And I had to keep an eye on all the technicians' hours to make sure they were all going to receive basically an equal paycheck. Not one was getting more than the other. Well, the boss, which was my boss back in the wash rack, he was still my boss. In the front, he says, "Hey, come here." He walked in his office, and I sit there, and I said, "What can I do for you?" He says, "I got a job offer for you. Would you like to become the manager over the wash bay and still do what you do up here? Now, it's going to be extra money," and we went down the whole list of it. Well, now, granted, one of the service riders was a female, and she also was getting a promotion. Well, we wasn't supposed to tell anybody yet what was going on, because you know how people get when there's a job opening and somebody feels they deserve this job. Well, I've been passed up many times on many jobs and many things that I was just telling Darlene tonight about a job that I should have got. And I should have got it. I worked hard for these people. So anyways, we're in there talking. I walked in to grab some paperwork that I needed. We're in there talking. Well, in comes, I called him the spy, because he was always lurking around trying to catch me doing something. And I finally asked him one day, back in the back end where his area was, and I kind of cornered him in the back. I said, "What is your problem?" I said, "One day, this family that you're trying to always kiss butt with," and he did, "is going to turn their backs on you." And they did. Like as a drop of a dime. Went and told them, because we stopped talking when he entered into a room, because I didn't trust him, because I know he would have wanted that job. Well, I wanted that job. I accepted that job. I wanted that job. So he goes and tells them, then all of a sudden, because I worked on weekends, I worked through there because I was getting ready to take over this position. All of a sudden now, because we're in there talking, and she lived in the same complex that I did maintenance in also later on, but she lived over in the towers, we lived on the apartment side. And I ran into her one day, and the mother, which lived over there, they cleaned the buildings and stuff. I know it's a circus, people, I know, trust me. Just hang with me for a moment. Seen me talking to her in her car. Now I'm standing outside the car. Not in the car. Standing outside the car. And I'm cheating. Because she was asking me something about the position. She's found out. She says, "What do you think? Do you think it's still worth, or do you think it'll be better doing what I'm doing?" And I said, "Well, only you can answer that. But I think it's still worth it, personally, in my opinion." So there's the first cheating I did. The second one, she accused me of 2 people at the nursing home that blows my mind. Totally blows my mind. I didn't have time to do anything, people. Nor do I have time to sit there and, no matter what, but I can tell you one thing. Every name I can throw down that this woman was with, I can prove it. And I gave up counting how many people. I mean, seriously. And you're going to call me a cheater? Right. Let's just roll the dice here. What does this have to do with anything? Falsely accusing people. You see how you can discredit someone and ruin their lives if you don't know the facts and you don't know the truth. You see how fast you can speak ill about someone and put yourself in the devil's pathway. Let me tell you something. And some people may never talk to me again on YouTube because of what I'm about to say. If you sit there and blame your lifestyle on somebody else, it's your fault. If you sit there and say, I'm moving ahead in life and the devil keeps dragging me back, your fault. Because you can't claim to have the Holy Spirit and go do the things that you're doing. It's like saying you're being possessed when you have the Holy Spirit in you. It's impossible because the glory and the mighty and in who they are, it's impossible. It's like saying Jesus was a demon. When Jesus says, show me a demon that's going to cast out a demon. I know it's hard, people. And I know some of you probably when this video is aired, you're probably going to turn it off. Like I told you, YouTube sent me this thing and saying this is how many subscribers that have canceled, unsubscribed. I sent them a thing back and I said, okay. I don't care if it comes down to one. And I'm not being, I honestly, I appreciate your guys' comment. I appreciate you guys being a part of this journey. And I appreciate the support. I appreciate it. There's still many of them way back that I still think about going, I've never heard from them again. And that's horrible. I mean, that really is, because I really do care about people's lives. When you don't ever hear the conclusion of something, it's like watching a movie, part 2, but you never see a part 2. I wonder whatever happened to the person. I wonder whatever happened to this person. I wonder whatever happened in this situation. There's some people that I feel bad because I still haven't got a chance to talk to them. Hopefully they understand. And hopefully when I reach out to them, because I'm off the next two days, so hopefully I can reach out to them and see if they're still wanting to talk. If not, I totally understand. I totally understand if they never want to hear my name again. I didn't do it on purpose. I don't do things on purpose. I do it when God has it in store. I care about what they're going through. I care about what everybody's going through. I don't know why I went through the things I went through, but I do today. I went through it because it's easier for somebody to come up to somebody that has been through it and lived through it and can see how God has changed me, because I allow Him to mold me. I allow Jesus to prune me. I allow Jesus to cast the junk out of my life. Even if it's people. Even if He told me, I'm going to need you to go to this island and I'm sending you by yourself. Okay. Do I frustrate people? Yes, I do. Do people misunderstand me? All the time. Do I pronounce words yet right, wrong? Yes. Have I heard every kind of horrible things that people can say to people? Yes, and yes, and yes. But guess what? He is in me is mightier than this world. You do it upon Him when you do it upon me. You do it upon Him. You do it upon me. You do it upon Him. You do it upon God. Well, now I got to ask God to have mercy on you. I think of the book of Job a lot sometimes when I'm going through this pain and I try to get through it. It's like one thing stops and another thing happens. Then I woke up to this. I think I got bit. Honestly, I think I got bit last week at the house by a spider in my lip. It's the same thing as this thing right here beside my eye. There's a puncture hole and a puncture hole, and I know that's how spiders are. The only thing can leave something that big is a brown recluse or a wolf spider. And I was outside messing with the lumber piles and stuff. You may say, Nelson, wouldn't you feel a spider crawling on you? You think? I had a spider, big spider crawling out of my shirt the one day, the Carhartt shirts that I always used to wear in the truck. And I kept feeling something that felt like, I was like, yeah, what the heck? So I pulled my shirt up and I seen it crawling down my stomach, on my side around into my stomach. Well, I'm going, oh my gosh, I got to swipe this thing. I can't smack it. I got to swipe it off me. Then I'm thinking, how am I going to get this stupid thing off me? And then I seen this ugly thing wear itself up, and I'm like, oh, this ain't going to be good. You're not biting me. So I took my glove, had it in my hand, had my shirt up. I just kind of leaned back, drawed my hand up, and this thing's... Now, you know, spiders got eyes all over the top of them. And, I mean, their eyes and stuff are... I forget how many they said that's in each eye socket. It's crazy. Why does a spider need that many eyes? I mean, it's kind of weird, but anyways. As I drew up, I seen that thing rise back. And soon as it was like perfect timing. As soon as I seen it draw back to get ready to probably puncture into me, I hit it down with the glove. Now, I don't know where the stupid thing went, but I was outside when it happened, so I wasn't too worried about it. Only problem was storing wood close to your property, to your doors. Well, I start to plan for snow and cold weather, and it's coming. We've been escaping it pretty good here in Ohio. It's been dancing all around us, but the ugliness is about to show itself. I know it. Day 3 of New Year's. Look at all the stuff. I think it was in Alabama. There was a bomb threat at a Walmart. I was just looking at the news tonight, and there was bomb threats in the Capitol building. I remember when the Lord told me last year that at the beginning of this year, we would see an Ebola attack on meat. Just seen it today. He also said shortly after that, we will have an issue with poultry. We would have an issue with pork. Now, there ain't no need to fear, people. If you're going to fear, then let me tell you something before you go into this, well, what if? If you're going to start doing that what if and you're going to fear, then you don't trust and you don't have faith in God. You don't have faith that God knows what he's doing. You don't have faith and trust that Jesus went to the cross, so you don't have to have fear. Because fear is a liar. That man that went to that cross is a chain breaker. That man is the healer. That man is the truth and the justice that we have. And the promise that he is coming back. You realize the 3 events in the Bible that shows the coming of Christ. The Jews coming back to Israel happened. Israel becoming a nation again. Yes. And the attack that's going on over there. Oh, there you go. There's a little bit of more history for you. Now you may say, well, that's all a coincidence. Really? Look at everything else that's going on around you. Look at how the kids are. What does Revelation said? Mother against daughter, daughter against mother, father and son against their, daughter-in-law against mother-in-law, mother-in-law against daughter-in-law, blah, 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 blah. And I'm not taking light of it. I'm just saying. You've been here long enough on these journeys. You know how I speak. I'm not apologizing for how I speak, and I won't. If I mispronounce a word, as some people say, you need to learn how to talk. Well, you need to turn off the video. Because obviously, you're too good to hear a simple peasant like me speak. Go find yourself some easy listening evangelists with their hands out. Go find yourself another YouTube channel that claims they are a ministry. And I'm not coming against them. I'm just saying you're a fool. Because look at them. Of what they become. False prophets. I'm very careful. I'm very careful because, Darlene just spoke this the other day too. And I was thinking, I just read that again about becoming a teacher. How you're going to be held at a higher standard. Now, I don't really consider myself a teacher. I don't consider myself a prophet. I don't consider myself a messenger. Sometimes I say, hey, I'm just a messenger. Am I trying to cop out of something? No, I just don't see myself that way. I don't see myself as a preacher. I don't see myself as a pastor. I don't see myself as an evangelist. I don't see myself in any kind of name, title, or anything. You know why? Because I don't want it. I've been a nothing to this world. Even when I ask God, give me a name that is a nothing name. Because I'd rather be a nothing in heaven than a somebody here. And I truly mean that. Heartache, pain, suffering, people dragging you through the fire. And you know what the funny part about it is? I thought about this 2 nights ago. I woke up. I was in tears. And I heard my alert message go off of the email. So I'm reading the email. And I told the person I would not mention their name. They said, is everything you speak truthful? And I said, yes. Everything. I said, yes. You don't have to believe me. One of the things they found fascinating is how in the world I'm still alive. I said, why would God continue to spare you? I said, because God had a bigger plan and purpose and a reason. God doesn't make mistakes, we do. We made a mistake of this world. Look what we've done to it. Don't blame God, people. Then I was saying that earlier. Don't blame God, blame ourselves. This world is our fault. The devil says, listen, I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. Think about that. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. Can you imagine being in a prison cell with him? Some of you are about to find out. You're about to find out. God have mercy. It's going to be too late for you to get mercy from God then. We judge these murderers. We judge these rapers. We judge all these people. But I tell you right now, people, wait until what's coming for them in hell. Oh my gosh. I feel bad for them. Again, look at abortion. They're allowed to do it up to a certain age. Days or whatever it is. And when I finally looked at it, I said, well, wait a minute. Don't they have a heartbeat and they're got a form at that point? Yes. Because I went and looked at this chart on how a baby grows. Because I was curious on how many days they still do abortion. Some states will go a little bit further. And I looked at that and I was like, wow. And that's what I said in there. We come against a psychotic person, and it is psychotic, it's a demon, possession, that convinces them to kill their children, drown them in the water, or do whatever, run a car there. It happened in Florida when a lady drove her car into the ocean. Stab the kids, smother the kids, whatever it may be, tie them up, beat them up, whatever, drop them, throw them on the floor. We've heard so much stuff that people have done to their children. But please, please, please explain to me how an abortion is not murder. Please, somebody, please explain that. How is them people not going to jail? It's my body. I have the rights. So you don't have the rights to go out and lay down with someone to become pregnant, and all of a sudden that person doesn't want to be in your life, and you go and abort a child. What if that would have been you? You understand what you're doing to heaven? You just kept one of God's angels fulfilling their purpose. God have mercy upon your soul, what you have just done. That angel is carrying that fetus back to heaven. Good night, the judgment you're going to have in hell if you don't make it to heaven. Now, I know some of you may say, Nelson, that's a little much. No, it's not. No, it's not. I've seen them carrying those babies back into heaven and had to be made new again. Because tell me, that's a horrible sight. That's horrifying. I would rather, if I had to go and watch all them aborted babies be brought into heaven, I would pick hell for a day. That's how bad it is. And I never want to go back to hell. I don't even want to look at it. I don't even want to think about it. Because when I start thinking about it, I think about all the wicked that I have done. Well, this person that I was talking about in the email says, you talk about being a monster. Can you describe it? I replied back, I don't think you really want to know. The comment I got back, right when I was getting ready to get in the car to make the drive home, he says, are you afraid that people are going to think different of you? Because I'm fascinated by your life. Your life is an inspiration. I replied back, no, I'm not afraid. Because I cannot possibly go through anything else on this earth that has not already been done to me. Because what happened 2 years ago broke me, people, pretty bad. And I don't talk about it a lot. It took me a lot to ask for forgiveness for myself. Because, oh man, I went into a dark place quick. And that scared me because I thought I was done with that. You know, nothing drives you crazy when you hear people talk about titles of people. Especially over the years, I've been speaking so much stuff, and it's like people get excited when they hear something. I'm like, oh man, gosh, I spoke this how many years back? I get excited when I hear it because that just means what I spoke, somebody else is speaking it. So if somebody else is speaking it, I asked the Lord, I said, Lord, why does it happen like that? And he said, because they didn't listen. So now I got to send somebody else to tell them. Now I got to put it on somebody else's heart to speak it. It's amazing how much YouTube has come against me, and I finally keep telling them all the time, going, listen to me. It's nothing that's not all over the news. And if anything, again, I still cannot find proof where China owns YouTube, like everybody says. But if they do, it doesn't make sense. The reason why I keep saying this, it doesn't make sense, because you think China that hates United States, hates well, they probably like Biden. You think they would love it that I'm exposing it. Because you think eventually this stuff keeps going the way it is, people, we're going to end up in a civil war this year. You may say, Nelson, you're crazy. I'm telling you right now, we're close to a civil war. It's going to be chaos. We're going to die by the hands of our own people if we go into a civil war. And all these countries are going to sit back and go, my gosh, how easy was this? We don't have to do anything. They're killing themselves. It's like gangs. And I know, and I'm not going into a race thing because it's not. I know a lot of people that are American African. I don't even like to say American African. I don't like to say African American because they have a name. And I respect them. But there is a lot of people, I don't care what skin color you are, ignorant is ignorant. You're killing people. You're destroying things. It's got to stop. We're going to need each other. We are going to need each other. I'm sorry what people have gone through. It doesn't change. You know why it doesn't change? Because we hold yesterday. If I held yesterday, I'd still be that hateful, spiteful person. I'd still be into potions. I'd still be into making things happen to where my life was different. It doesn't make it right. But I find it interesting that I don't know this person. Their title of the email is just curious and then the number. Isn't that something? It's kind of a mystery. Some of the questions that this person is asking. Again, it could be male, it could be female. No clue. None at all. They asked a few other questions. One of the ones was, do you ever feel like the presence of the enemy is coming after you? Yes, I do. And I can feel the hatred. I can feel when certain people get around me, how I feel different. It takes a lot sometimes. It really does. I can remember a while back at a family member's house, and one of the family members said something to me, and it's like instant. I mean instant. I can't even snap that fast. It triggered something in me, and I finally had to tell another family member, they have no idea where they put me in thought. See, there's a difference. Some people have in their mind what they're capable of doing. Some people underestimate something that they don't know nothing about. I don't underestimate it because I know when hatred sets into your heart, look out. It's like these people that are drugged over into the drug abuse and they become like unsuperhuman. They get strength in. I watched a guy one night on Cops get tased so many times that the guy just kept standing up. It was incredible. And if I remember right, there was like 4 people that tased him that day, and he's still like it didn't faze him. And I'm not doing that to glorify the devil. Nope, I'm just telling you what you're dealing with. That's why I tell people, some of the stuff I hear about spiritual warfare, but I don't hear the confidence come out of some of these people. We just had a conversation not too long ago, and I'm thinking, you have no idea what you're getting into. It's not black and white. It's not that simple. You just can't call on the blood of Jesus because Jesus even said some you have to fast. If you don't know the devil, you don't know the spiritual realm, you don't know spiritual warfare, you shouldn't be in it. You're not confident. You just let an attachment come on you. I have no problem coming on here doing a spiritual warfare. You want it, I'll give it to you. But I don't think some of you are going to be able to handle it. Because it's going to go into a deep place that you didn't know even existed. It's a dark place. And if you get caught in that dark place and fear creeps in you, it's there. And if you don't have the Holy Spirit in you like you think you do, and that thing tricks you up, it's going to grab you. I talked to a priest that did exorcisms. And I said, I thought you guys never stopped doing it. He says, no. When there comes a time when the devil fools you, and you no longer can tell the difference between what is real and what is not, your time is done. They will not let you continue. He said, I retired from it after that. Because what the person was doing was speaking in people that he knew. Now, we all seen movies. We've seen this stuff happen. We've seen The Exorcist, where the old man's talking to the young priest and said, don't listen to him, that's not your mother. It even kind of formed into the mother. That's what the shadow does. The shadow has a name. The whisperer. Still the same demon. You know, these little peon horror films that you people watch or have seen. Anybody that's watching this video that is just trying to figure out where you're at in life. You got that stuff in your house? All you're asking is the attachments to come to your house. You got all these dolls and all this chaos. You can hide it into another room and shut the door. I might not be able to see it. God does. It's not up to me what you leave in your household. I feel it. I feel it when I walk in some people's house. I can feel the negativity. I can feel what people do. I told you that I was at a family member's house, and I looked, and I spoke this on a video not too long. I said, where'd that dog come from? It was their spouse's family member. I said, that thing moved. The whole time I'm sitting there eating, I keep looking over at it, and it keeps moving. Annabelle's spirit in the doll is true. They took the movie Chucky off of Annabelle. And they just went a little far with it, but anything's possible in the devil's realm. People underestimate what he brings to the table. And I hear these people going, I'm going to do spiritual warfare. I'm going to go do this. God's calling me to do it. You better hope that it's God calling you to do it. You better know your limitations. If you're not a prayer warrior, you're not a strong person, you're never going to do it. And I'm that confident to tell you this. And again, don't watch the videos. Unsubscribe. I'm still going to be here. The last video just posted. Honestly, I read the comments this morning. And as I'm reading the comments, I looked at other people's, because I was like, well, somebody commented on this person, somebody's commented on this one. And I'm going down there, and amazingly, the one person spoke to the other person and said, your comments And I was reading this person's comment, which the one person sends me emails. So, and as I was reading hers, I started thinking about what the other person commented on her video, and I was sitting there thinking, when I read it, I thought about that other person. I was like, sounds like something she would have said a while back. And it made me laugh. But the thing of it is the support. And then, I can't remember the last time, and I'm going to mention this person. I can't remember. I think... Well, I really don't remember. Heather Gray. If I remember right, she's in Florida. She commented, I didn't get a chance to read hers, I was just bouncing down through there, and I seen it as I was closing out, and I said, well, when I get home tonight, I'll read it. I'm thinking, I haven't heard from her in a while. Now, if I remember right, now I've said it before, I did the bucket thing for another lady that had children. I know she was a single mom, and I felt for her. But I also felt the love that what she's willing to do to protect her family. And to be honest, I forget her name. You know, it's like, and I feel bad. I honestly really do. I really do feel bad when I forget someone's name. But if I'm not mistaken, I think Heather Gray lives in Florida, and I want to say she's got 3 boys. And I don't know. I think she's married. It doesn't really matter. But what I'm saying is, raising 3 boys these days, I can honestly say I don't care if you're raising girls or boys. I think it's all crazy. I think this is the worst difficult times ever than trying to raise kids right now. Oh, I will tell you this. Somebody asked me, if you had an opportunity to have another child, would you have another child? And I thought about it a while back. I was thinking about, it's like, you miss having grandkids, you miss having children come over at the holidays, and I feel bad for Darlene, I honestly do, because she can't see her granddaughter because of what I was, the crap that they brought against me, which make her suffer, make the granddaughter suffer. I don't have to be around. I'll make it a point to not to be around. I mean, I'm gone all the time anyways. And most of the time I'm working on the weekends now, so it's not like she can't have her on the weekend. All because she said, I don't believe it. There's too much proof to prove it. But the devil believes what the devil wants to believe. Devils believe the devils. So if you guys want to pray for something, pray for that. Pray for the restoring. First of all, pray for the restoring of her daughter and the granddaughter. That the daughter gets out of this relationship that she's in and breaks these chains, that God breaks the chains, and God have mercy on her. God loves her. She's loved. She's just confused. She allowed the devil, she told me one day what the devil told her, and I said, listen to me now. She said the devil said he was not done with her. He was coming to get her. And she says, I'm too strong for this. I said, you better watch what you say. The devil's going to use you. And sure enough, he got her, people. Filled her head full of things that she couldn't. Because you see what you want to see. I had another lady at an apartment complex. She was... kind of like leasing agent, appointments, whatever. So we were going down there, we was doing Bible studies, and she come and told our boss. My boss called me in and she goes, you're not going to believe this. I'm like, try me. She says the person's name. said that you were in her house at 12 o'clock last night. I said 12 o'clock last night, I was sitting at my house probably sleeping. Because sometimes I'd get up and go in the other room, watch TV if I couldn't sleep. Depends on what was going on with my body. Most of the time I was in bed watching TV. If anything, I woke up, I'd turn the TV down and flip through the channels. But she said she's seen me. Talk to me. She's got an alarm code on her house. I don't know her alarm code. How the heck did I get in her house? But you see what I'm saying? The devil lets you see what you want, and that's the whisperer. That's the shadow person I speak of. Same thing that turned itself into a cat, then turned itself when Darlene screamed, turned herself into the dog that she had, and she was comfortable. But what'd she do? She opened the door. Mocha, go on in the house. You opened the door for the demon. You don't even realize it. Once you allow that door to come open, once you allow the devil in there, you grant permission. Look out! You just opened the portal and allow this thing to have free realm of your house. Now, it's not her fault. She didn't know. When she come back in there and tell me what happened, I said, Darlene, Mocha's never left this room. She's been laying right here next to me. I've been petting her. And I know it was her because I was down there on the floor playing with her. And we were eating peanuts out of the shells. I would crack peanuts and feed her peanuts out of the shell. You know the peanuts that are in the shell? Well, I was feeding her. So I know dang well it wasn't her, and that door never opened. Never opened. Well, you may say, Nelson, you were fooled. Maybe that wasn't, maybe the devil puts that in place, and the other dog was there. No, she said it came down the hallway. Where did it go? Didn't come in the room. Door never opened. Door never opened because I didn't give her permission. See, when you mock something and that door's open, it's got free realm. But it has to still obey God. When God doesn't give no boundaries, that's where the problem comes in. Now, you're going to feel and you're going to see a little bit what it's capable of doing. When it uses someone else's body, but this thing's capable of making it look like something else. And that's what these people fall into. They see what they want to see. She was hated. She was angered with me. This lady, even at that apartment complex, she was angered with me. The youngest daughter was angered with me because I stopped something from happening and the mom being used. We're moving back to Florida. You need to figure this out. Your mom ain't going to be here to do it. You need to figure it out. It's your child. Figure it out. And that's where all war broke loose. Okay. Well, let's go into a different pattern here. You have to understand spiritual warfare. You just can't walk. I mean, you can walk up in faith, but I tell you what, if that demon speaks back to you, I bet you your faith is going to shrink real fast. When you start seeing stuff manifest in front of you, and you start seeing stuff fly across rooms, and you start seeing stuff move, I bet you're not going to be standing in the house very long. You just started something. That person is at risk now. You put that person in harm's way because you left that body unprotected. So you better be darn sure when you get ready to go in there and think you're going to call on the blood of Jesus and you ain't strong enough to finish it. Because you may do more harm to that person. I bet you some of you are probably sitting here going right now, going, wow, he's on a roll tonight. Nah, I'm just getting started. See, when God allows stuff to happen to push you to this point where you just go, you know what, I'm done. And I know some of you, some of the comments I was reading, please don't give up. I'm not giving up. But I'm gonna say the same thing to you guys. Are you ready to give up? You might be after these videos. You might be. You too may turn your back on me. You too may walk away, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to continue to pray for you. You got a free will. Don't watch the videos, because what I'm about to throw at you in the next couple of days, it's gonna make you have a totally different thought of life. Because today's Wednesday, so this thing will probably upload sometime tomorrow. Sometime tomorrow, I'm going to do the hell. And I know some of you might go, Nelson, it can't be no worse than some of the stuff you've already spoke about. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I just got to try to put it into words that it's not going to get banned from not being uploaded. But for some reason, I think it's time. Because I've heard another person come to me and said, listen, this person called me and I went over to their house and there was some strange things happening, and I didn't believe it, but I set up cameras, and, he said, just out of goofiness, he said I was kind of acting like the ghost hunter people, and he goes, what happened is unbelievable. He said the cameras were on, then the cameras went blank, and the batteries completely were drained, and we didn't get it on footage, but we did see it. All of us seen it. And so I sent a message back and I said, what did you see? And he explained to me. He says, I don't even know how to explain this. So once he explained it to me, I explained back exactly what my thought, what he was describing, and what I have seen. Now, people, I haven't seen every demon, honestly. No freaking clue what all of them are. I know the pyramids. I know the level of it. I know what each level means. I know what each space means. Just like in witchcraft. Differences in them. The candles. What you're about to find out. And I know what some of you are probably thinking when you're hearing this. Why are you going to do that? Doesn't matter. You think your children aren't already doing these things? Come on. Wake up, people. You know how many people's going to come against this? You know how many people's going to come against? I'm already waiting for it. But you know what? Don't take this the wrong way. I don't really care. Because if you don't hear this, and you think, because there's so many people out there. Because when I asked him, I said, well, let me go back to this real quick. And I asked him, I said, well, what did you do when all this happened? Now, wait. He said, we ran out the door. I said, okay. He said, oh, yeah. And I said, well, where was the girl? still in the house. I said, the body was still in the house. The girl. He said, yes. I said, what happened then? He goes, we all seen it. We all seen it. The mother, the brother, the father, the friend that came with him, and the person that was running the video camera. So 5 people. That's okay, what happened? He said, we're standing outside, realizing they left her in the house. Because of what manifests next to her. I said, all right, did you think about going back in there and getting her? I asked a few more questions. The response was this. Listen to this. I had to read this thing, and I'm not even kidding you. 5 times I read this person's response. He says, we are standing there talking, and we looked over, coming from the corner of her room. We've seen the window come open, and we've seen her come out the window. I said, okay. I'm thinking in my head, no, I didn't reply, okay. I'm thinking in my head, okay. So the girl's coming out the window to where they are. So let's just think about this for a moment. Living room, and I'm gathering the bedroom was away. So I don't know how the house was set up, but I'm just picturing a house in my head. So obviously the bedrooms are on the first floor that she can crawl out a window and come out. Walks up to them and he said, quote unquote, help me. Don't leave me. Mother said to her daughter, let's just go. We'll leave. She said, Mom, you don't understand. Look. They seen the daughter staring at them out the window. Seen her she was picked up and thrown across the room. Screaming. She said, help me, help me. The person standing in front of them said, that's not me. I've been doing bad things, and this is what happened to me. They said I only have a little time left to get back into my body. So I replied back, did anybody go back in? I haven't heard back from yet. I'm curious to see what happens with this. Now, it may just be some paranormal activity movie that this person's doing. I don't know. It could be just some far-fetched storyline. I don't think it is. I really don't. I really think these kids are so wrapped up in this demonic realm. I think they're praising and worshiping Lucifer, and I think that's what's happening right now, people. I think it's being exposed. I don't even think you know what your children are even doing. That may just happen to you. And I guarantee it, you're probably going to be one of the people that run out that door. You can't say, no, I wouldn't do it. Nelson, no, I can do this and that. You don't know anything until you're faced with it. Let me tell you what, I grew up in the crap. I grew up in it from a young little baby. And when something happened that night in that basement, when I seen that can crush, I took off running. I didn't even think back to look see what Darlene was. And I'm supposed to be a protector. Because I knew something was about to happen. We got to get out of here. Only thing I can think about is where's the children? We laugh about it today. You don't know what you're getting into. I hope you're strong enough. I don't want you to end up like that. But he did finally say that when they started looking and they went up onto the part of the garage where the garage porch thing was, that they could look in through the kitchen. And they seen the daughter now that was outside with them, standing over the body, looking down at the body. So something's keeping her spirit away from her soul. Whatever's in her, whatever she allowed to come into that body. Once it controls that soul totally, most likely you're not going to get her back. Especially if you don't know what the heck you're doing. Now, I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm not claiming it at all. I've seen enough of this stuff. But I tell you what, I've walked in people's houses and seen demonic statues of things. I've seen exactly what happened in their house, and I even told them. And you think even they agreed upon it, yeah, that has happened. I told them what their house looked like before I even went in it. I told them what happened in the rooms. Yep. And then disbelief. I don't believe you. Someone told you. Who told me? Who told me? Was it you? Was it your sister? So who told me? How would I know? Sure ain't my wife. She don't know. People's come against me because videos that we've done together, and I say, well, I do that all the time to her. I do it to other people I talk to. Well, it's just my way of trying to add into the story before we go too much further. I'm not trying to put her down. I'm not trying to put anything about it. I'm not trying to take credibility away from what she's speaking. Does she read the Bible? Yes, she reads the Bible. Does she support you? She stands by me. Nobody else has. Just because we look at a picture doesn't mean it's that picture. I've said it before. Just because you look at a clown doesn't mean the clown's happy. It could be smiling, but it could be sad inside. It could be a sad clown and be happy. See, that's what the devil does. Some people don't give him enough credit. Some people give him too much credit. You got to figure out what he is and what he's capable of doing. When he takes over realm of this earth, good luck to you. If you're still here, if you haven't already taken the mark of the beast, if you haven't already surrendered your life, go back to the video. Go back to the video where that person came against me saying they don't believe signing your name in blood. You still can repent. Okay. That's your belief. Go ahead and believe it. Because I question what your lifestyle's like. I really do, people. Good luck to you. People in the Illuminati is exposing the Illuminati. What does that tell you? The only thing it tells me is good luck. Good luck to you. Now, I'm not coming against people that are saying, and I hope if a certain person hears this, that we just talked to him a couple nights ago. This totally has nothing to do with you. If you are confident, I'm just saying because I've been hearing a lot of this stuff lately, and I've been seeing in the morning, I'll just turn on music, and sometimes the music goes into somebody else's channel, and I'm listening to it. And again, you know, some people's channels, as soon as I watched it, I was like, oh my gosh, how is people watching this? And that Mandy was one of them. Look at her today. All that time when I kept saying she's reading the screen, she's reading something, all she was doing, people, was using other people's channels, taking stuff from everybody else's channels, and then made her own fake ministry. God said to get a divorce, and now she's with a guy. I mean, give me a break, people. I mean, and then the guy's just sitting on it, well, you guys know the Bible, we don't. Really? Because she claimed to know the Bible. All you're doing is speaking like the devil himself, and he's a liar. So why would you not be a liar? Anybody that follows after the devil, most likely is going to tell you lies. Did I lie? Yes. I told you before, I broke all God's commandments. You murder? Yep. You steal? Yep. Adultery? Yep. I got wrapped into that dark web. And I thought I was in control. You start watching, you start going on there and looking, and every night you end up right back on there again. Even though you went on there to play a game or do something else, you end up right back there again. It's still adultery. Whether or not, if I was married or not married, I still having thoughts. God doesn't intend me to do that. God doesn't want me to be like that. Oh my gosh, shush.
Turn left onto I-270.
Listen, you. Calm down. There's a lot of things. You know, and I'm still waiting, honestly. You know, and I know some people have a hard time believing that all the stuff that I went through, and they really, some people are just skeptic. I've had people call me a flat liar and then come up and apologize to me and said, I really didn't mean it like that. I didn't grow up like this. I don't understand your life. I said, it's okay. Driving down these roads that I live in, where we live now, it's hard some days, people. Because I look at certain corners, or I look at certain streets, certain alleyways, and it brings tears to my eyes. I don't know. Not that I don't love Darlene, not that I don't love life, not that I don't love people in general. I can love people today. I couldn't before. Sometimes I ask God, why did you even leave me here? Well, then I got to go and ask God to forgive me for that. Because now I'm trying to tell God how to do his job. I can't even do my job half the time. It's a crazy triangle of craziness, people. That's all the devil does, try to capture in his webs. Well, anyways, I think it's good night, man. I think this video is like an hour and a half, almost an hour and 40 minutes. We're going to see how many people watch this thing. Anyways, God bless you guys. Till the next one.